Hello, everybody, and my camera is not working well. Let me see this. Maybe like this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 153 of the world's longest tenured Denver Nuggets spin-off podcast. Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets' Serbian Corner. My name is Miroslav. Before we begin, please take a moment to like the video on YouTube, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the DNVR Sports YouTube channel and the DNVR Nuggets podcast channel. The audio version is ideal for your commute or to make your office or home office time more bearable. If you want to support the show more directly, you can become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/MiroslavCUK, just like my Seco tier supporters Peter Plummer, Daniel Lynch, and Brian Johnson. Patreon supporters can enjoy the ad-free audio version of this show. They can also submit ideas for guests and topics and appear on the show during the summer, as it is the game show month. Again, I've prepared even crazier trivia games than ever before. Team Serbia continued with their preparation games for Eurobasket. Nikola Jokić skipped alongside other experienced players like Bogdanovic, Micic, Milutinov, and Stefan Jovic the game versus Cyprus. But that didn't stop Serbia from beating the hosts of that game and also of Eurobasket, one of the groups of Eurobasket, by almost 70 points. All of the Serbian centers feasted against a much smaller opponent, and Nikola Jokić had a great game facilitating. Next up, yesterday, Serbia played against the Czech Republic in Munich and won by 30. Despite giving up a metric ton of threes, they just couldn't be stopped scoring at the paint. Finally, in the game that just ended, Serbia played against Germany. Also, the game was played in Munich, Germany, and the entire arena was rooting for Serbia at times, which shouldn't be a surprise since Munich is among the biggest Serbian cities in Europe. Yeah, it's the Chicago of Germany. The game was very physical. Joker didn't get a lot of touches, but his gravity opened a lot of space for his teammates. Nikola Jovic was excellent at the three, finishing well around the rim and hitting his three-pointers. Avramovic was, per usual, great on defense. Bogdanovic was pushing the envelope a bit too hard, even though he had to play 1-against-4 at times. And Petrucci reminded us of how well he cooperated with Jokic last summer in Paris. Off the bench, Jovic was very solid on the ball. Guduric had both great and frustrating moments, and Vukcevic played at the three at times, which might surprise people who will never see him outside of the center position in the NBA. Marinkovic made a couple of shots, and Milutinov didn't look super dominant against a very strong German defense. Serbia controlled the entire game, had one short stint of consecutive turnovers late in the fourth quarter that brought Germany to only a 2-point deficit, but Serbia responded and won by 10 points. That was a sixth win in a row. Jokic had 7 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists in, I would guess, about 25 minutes. And Jovic had 22 points. He was really, really good in this game. Okay, that is enough of an intro for today. Please let me introduce my guests. First, the champion of the first season of Trivia Game Show, Denver Nuggets Receipt Gatherer Extraordinaire. It's Wade. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate the intro.
So, after the off-season we got from Ben Tenzer and John Wallace, do you expect this season to be rich with receipts online like it was in 2023?
I think so. I haven't been as locked in as I usually am because it's the off season. But once October rolls around, I'm pretty sure a lot of takes will be coming out that I have to keep my eye on. That's for sure.
It used to be the Philly fans a lot back in the day, but now that Philly is no longer an NBA contender, not that it ever was. Which teams or which fan bases are now the most active in hating the Nuggets and Joker in particular?
Well, I was going to say the Mavs fans, but Luka got traded, so that kind of died down. So it's really just Luka fans, pretty annoying. But mostly OKC fans is what I've been seeing. Of course, they just won the championship, so they're the loudest right now. So I got a few things on hold for this season.
Yeah, it's their time right now, so we have to wait for
Exactly.
our happy dance. Yes. Okay. Next up, Serbian corner debutant, Nuggets fans' favorite Nets fan, from the Floor Spacer podcast. It's Tyler Schwartz.
What's going on,
Welcome
Miro?
to the show, Tyler.
Thank you for having me on.
So tell me, how did your good relationship with the Nuggets fans first start?
I've told the story a bunch of times. I haven't said it publicly, though. So
Okay.
we had played you guys back in like 2021, something like that. And Will Barton had gone just off against us. He had like 30-something points. And Ian Eagle, our announcer, just was so shocked by it. And I had seen a tweet on the timeline when Jokic had gotten suspended for I think it was the Morris incident, when he just obliterated him from behind and said, who's going to be the one to step up? And I was like, why not just, put my input? And I just said, Will Barton went off against us. I think it's going to be him. And he had a career high. So it's kind of all been history from there.
How that is a nice story. And today we're going to play a lot of trivia games. Wade is a former champion, and you are not a Nuggets fan per se. So I'm going to give you a piece of advice how to navigate the games better. To quote Mel Brooks, use the Schwartz. So I hope that will help you. But we're going to talk about the game before that. But before we go to the game, last but not least, a veteran of Serbian Corner, a teacher and forever a student, one of my favorite movie buffs, and the president of the Denver Nuggets Nebraska fans. It's Kyle Simonsen. Welcome back, Kyle.
Hey, thanks for having me on again, Miro. I don't think I have a lot of competition now that Voya moved, so I think I've got Nebraska on hold now for us. So,
yeah, just take it with your chest and be proud of your title. So I've seen some recent movie takes from you, so I'll try to surprise you by asking which recent non-horror movies you would suggest for watching to the vast audience of Serbian Corner.
well, fortunately, I went to the movies yesterday. I caught a couple movies yesterday. I made a little double feature for myself, but they were at two separate theaters. I had to drive quickly from one to the other. It was a experience. But I saw Kiyoshi Kurosawa's Cloud, which was very good. A horror director, but not making a horror movie, making kind of a absurd action film, and I thought it was very good and good in the back half. And I've seen a lot of people say that everything that happens in it is the exact opposite of what they expected to happen. Every time that something they thought they knew where the movie was going and went somewhere different. So I would really recommend that movie, Kiyoshi Kurosawa's Cloud. And then I think the second movie I saw was even better. I caught the new Spike Lee joint last night, Highest to Lowest, and it was also very good. It's, a remake of an Akira Kurosawa film, High to Low, and it is not Akira Kurosawa's film, but it was still very good. The first half felt really similar to the Kurosawa film, and in a way that was not flattering to the Spike Lee film, in a way that maybe I was like, oh, this is going to be a little disappointing. This is everything we don't want out of a remake. But then the back half is really, really good. So he really starts to riff on it and take it some unexpected places in the back half. So I'd highly recommend that too. I don't think I've ever had a bad time in a Spike Lee film. So go to the movies, catch some films.
This is why I asked for movie recommendations from you. That was really elaborate and professor-like.
I can't turn it off, man. I can't turn it off. I'm sorry.
Okay, guys. So we've just saw the game between Serbia, who is it was actually the rematch of the FIBA World Cup final game 2 years ago when Germany beat Serbia in the final game. That was a tournament Serbia played without Nikola Jokić, and this time around Serbia had Nikola Jokić and dominated for pretty much all of the game. I did not love the way they played, honestly, because I thought it was pretty clunky and not super connected. But in the end, Serbia controlled the game for 39 minutes, had that one short 30-second stint where they lost control over game, but then came around. Wade, what do you think about Serbia's game today, and in particular with Nikola Jokic's performance today?
So I mean, I caught bits and pieces of it, but from what I watched, it, like you said, it seemed like they were in control for most of the game. Jokic, he looked very patient as usual, drawing the double teams, just picking Germany apart. But yeah, I mean, it's just a solid game. It's a little frantic at times, but Jokic looked really good. Like every time I looked up, he was doing something, memorable. So yeah, it was a decent game.
Yeah, I was texting with a buddy of mine during the game, and I was like, "Oh man, I wish Peyton Watson would finish around the rim as well as Jovic does right now." But I digress. Tyler, what did you see from this game, and how did you view Nikola's role that was kind of different compared to what he plays in the NBA?
Yeah, I feel like in the NBA, he's definitely more relied on as far as running the offense every single possession. I feel like when he's off the floor, they're still not good, but they seem to collectively handle themselves a little bit better than the Nuggets would, at least with the roster they had last year. And to me, like, yes, Germany has a lot of NBA talent, like Dennis Schroeder, Franz Wagner, et cetera, but Serbia just seems so complete from top to bottom, and Jokic just kind of gets everyone in the right spots. And that's where you see guys like Jovic and Bogdanovic and Avramovic. They all just shine in their roles. And I just think it flows naturally. He just feels a lot more comfortable.
Kyle, how I would describe Nikola's game here today and also yesterday against Czech Republic is he did not have a lot of touches in the game, but at the same time he was taking so much attention from the other team's defense. Everybody would just get their lanes cleared, and of course, if Nikola did get the touch, that would usually result in a really nice assist from him. So only 7 points for him, but also you could have seen that Serbia was playing so much better when Nikola was on the court versus when he was off the court. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, one of the things is that I felt like Jokic's passing was really, really good in this game. And, unfortunately, not everyone on Serbia finished at the rim quite as well as Jovic did. They had some shots get blocked. They missed some shots, inside off of those nice Jokic passes, or some of those hockey assists where Jokic passed it to someone who made the next pass, and then they missed the shot. So it just felt like there was a little bit of a lack of execution sometimes. I always kind of wonder what the context for these games, is, when you're watching a game like this, that's a competitive game, but not a tournament game, and it almost feels like he's less concerned with the outcome of the game and more concerned with the process of the game, of making sure that the offense is functioning the way that it's supposed to, that everyone's in their places, that everyone's connected. And it feels like Jokic is trying to make that happen, sometimes at the expense of some of the other things that we know he can do. So, I really echo how you felt about the game, that it was one of those games, and it's that experience we've had a lot as Nuggets fans, where Serbia had that lead, and every time it felt like they were really about to stretch it out, Germany would make a three to keep it just in touching distance, usually from Franz Wagner, and especially in the second half. He played really well, but it felt like it wasn't really a game where Jokic had to dominate, but I think you're right that he just impacts the game in lots of ways, even when his scoring number is maybe doesn't jump off the page at you.
Yeah, Franz Wagner is a really good FIBA 3-point shooter. That's because the 3-point shot is 3 feet shorter than in the NBA, and I think that's the reason why he's not as reliable in the NBA there. But yeah, France was murdering us 2 years ago as well from the outside. We've seen an interesting decision by Coach Pešić at the end of the game. In the fourth quarter, Serbia was losing ground. There was a timeout, I believe, 5 minutes to go. And that was a very natural moment when he was supposed to bring Nikola Jokić back in the game. But he didn't. Now, I thought Pešić would not bring him in at all to the end of the game because it is a preparation game. So I thought maybe he was trying to create this specific situation in case Nikola is in foul trouble on the tournament. So they have to figure it out how to play well in those crunch minutes without him. And I thought, oh, good for him. Like, I like this approach. But then he caved 2 minutes later and brought him in just too late. So I'm not sure what he was doing. Maybe he was just trying to be cute and, give Jokic some extended minutes of not playing for some reason. Wait, what did you think about the last of the second half of the fourth quarter of this game?
Yeah, I think it was a scenario or situational sort of deal, like you said. I think it's only 5 fouls in the Eurobasket thing, right? So yeah, maybe that's probably where the coach was going, just trying to see what the team would do if Jokic isn't on the floor. Didn't look too good. Every time I looked up, I'm like, oh, they're closing the gap. So thankfully he put him back in, but like you said, it's just an exhibition match. So I think the coach was probably trying to, see what his options are in case that situation is real in the future.
I want to say something. Yeah, I agree. It was a bit weird. As I said, if he didn't put him back at all to the end, I would understand the reasoning behind it because it's a prep game. But this was a bit cringy to me. On the other side, I will tell you guys one thing that you might have not noticed in the previous years. Coach Pešić was famous for playing a different starting five in every game, trying out stuff, even in the tournament, really. And I think Jokic hated that. And this last season's Olympics and this year's Eurobasket seem to be a tournament where Jokic has a lot of control about what's going on the court and off the court. So we are seeing very steady starting five in every game Nikola played in these preparations. It was the same starting five, and it will probably stay the same for the tournament as well, unless Vasa Micic gets better from his injury. We will see if he will even travel to Latvia when the tournament starts. But Tyler, are you? I don't know how much experience you have with FIBA tournaments, but FIBA coaches are very stubborn people, and we are seeing now, one of the most stubborn and one of the most iconic coaches in FIBA history, giving the reins to his best player. Is this something that might surprise you in 2025, or are we just now a global village and similar things are happening everywhere?
I think it could be both, because kind of like you said, Jokic didn't play, if I'm not mistaken, in the last Eurobasket, and maybe that could have been why. Yes, obviously he had like the big playoff run, but if you're running out inconsistent lineups every single game, it's not a good way to build up chemistry. I experienced this with the Nets for like 3 years when we had Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. We had like 40 or 50 different starting lineups, and we would go on these just insane losing skids that isn't sustainable. And you see in 2023, it worked with Denver running the same starting five out the entire season if everyone's healthy. And I think that is the recipe for success. I mean, you saw what they were able to do during the Olympics. Jokic just kind of putting the team on his back. But I don't know. I feel like it's dependent on the coach. I feel like some coaches are more stubborn than others, and some will be willing to lean on their star player. Jokic is a much different case because of how good he is, that if you're not resorting to him for even just a little bit, then I think you're doing your job wrong.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Kyle, Wade already mentioned Nikola Jokić having a great game tonight. He was really just good around the rim and also from the outside. Did you notice another player outside of Jokić and Jovic who impressed you on the Serbian team today?
Yeah, I thought Milutinov played pretty well. Maybe that was part of the thinking too, with Jokic not coming back in too at that 5-minute mark. But then that 5-minute mark you mentioned got really scary because that's when they blew those two inbounds. and just about gave up the lead. So, I kind of wonder if that didn't have something to do with the decision about what the personnel would be in the last 5 minutes there. But, again, I don't know that I haven't looked at the box score. I don't know that his statistics are going to jump off the page to you. But I thought Milutinov had good position, good spacing, was in the right place, made some nice plays, had a nice basket in the interior late in that game. So, I thought he played pretty well.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Bogdanovic had a rough game today. I felt he was trying too much, and maybe that was by design as well, because
With
he was
Miroslav
leading.
out, I kind of wonder if he doesn't feel he has more on his shoulders. So
yeah, well, he is the guy with the ball a lot on Team Serbia, and especially in the non-Jokic minutes. Oh my God.
Right.
Mark, it's 21 minutes. We already mentioned non-Jokic minutes. So yeah, he had a lot of responsibility there, and yeah, it was a tough one because Germany knew they needed to overload on him. He made some heroic shots, but he also didn't make some other ones. So yeah, I thought it was a tough game for him, and I hope they've seen some stuff from this game that will be useful for them, because I'm pretty sure Serbia is going to meet Germany at some point of this Eurobasket, because we are talking about 2 of the 4 of the best teams in this Eurobasket for sure. Okay, let's take a short break, and then we'll talk some more, Nikola. Okay. Okay, we are back. So my guys on the main DNVR Nuggets show on Thursday had a great segment when they were determining who is highest on certain Nuggets players among the 3 of them, and that caused a true argument about who is the highest on Nikola Jokic. And I think all of Adam, Eric, and Brandon had great arguments for being the highest on Joker, and it was a kind of a little rivalry or war between Adam and Eric on this. It was very amusing, and I almost threw my hat into the ring in the after show discussion on Twitter, but I saved it for today. So before I lay my case on how high I am on Nikola Jokic, I wanted to give you guys a chance to explain how high you are on Jokic. Now, to try to dodge the esoteric talk here, I will frame my question to you guys like this. What do you think is the ceiling of future all-time individual ranking of Nikola Jokic when his career is done? Let's start with Wade again. So what do you think is realistic, but also 100 percentile outcome for his future all-time ranking?
I would put him, when he's done, I would say top 12. Simply off of the championships. I do hope he can win 2 more. I can see him winning 2 more, but things happen. Basketball is a game of luck and health and all these other variables. So I think he can get into that top 12, 12 to 14 range. I do have him in the top 20 right now, just off of his sheer his production, the 3 MVPs, and this peak of basketball he's on right now. But outside of that, I do believe he's the best player to ever touch a basketball, in my opinion. It's just there's so many other things that are involved in the game with other guys being on the court and different CBAs and things like that, and that really impacts how great a player can really be within this era. So I would say top 12.
So basically, if you say he seems like the best player ever to touch the ball, but at the same time, you see his future self being just the top 12 guy or top 14 guy at the end, would you say that means that the Nuggets have failed him so far, building around him, or do you think it's more complex to win in these days compared to the old times?
I would say it's a little of both. I do think not playing next to an all-star this far into your career as a 3-time MVP is just, it's almost unacceptable. No disrespect to Jamal and how great he's been in 2 of his playoff runs. And he's had his health issues as well. But then also, the CBA and different first apron, second apron. You can't keep players on big contracts. Right after we just saw Kevin Durant go to Golden State for virtually nothing and see them win 2 championships after winning 73 games. So it's a lot of different moving pieces that can really impact just how successful a single player can be in today's NBA. But it's a little bit of both. I think the Nuggets could have gave him more, or at least tried a few more things throughout his career. But at the same time, just those weird rules with who their hands are tied with who they can bring in. And then there's Calvin Booth, but that's just more on that another day.
We are trying to find who made all of these rules. We want to pay more, but we just cannot. Okay, Tyler, what is your position here?
So I'm slightly higher on Jokic than I am than Wade is. I think right now he's already in my top 15. I'm not sure where exactly because I haven't really sat down and ranked the players. I could really only have you could go right off the dome with a LeBron, Jordan, whatever. After that,
that's a great off-season content show. So I'm not pushing, but I would love to see your show on that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one day soon. But right now, I think Jokic has a very acceptable ceiling of top 10. I think he can get in there. And I think we're in an era right now in the NBA where we're starting to have a legacy shift where you had guys back in the 50s and 60s winning 7-8 rings, but aren't regarded as, top 5 players. You look at a guy like Sam Jones, and he's nowhere near the level of a guy like Bill Russell or Kareem or anyone of that nature. And then you get to the Jordan, LeBron, Steph. They win a bunch. They win not as many rings, but they win a decent amount. The NBA is so talented, and the salary cap is so restrictive. We just saw the Celtics win a championship, and we thought that was going to be the first of maybe 4 or 5. And now they're in a situation where they might not win a ring until they move on to a new star. So we're going to start seeing guys with 1, 2 rings move up on these rankings a lot higher. Even if someone like Wemby never wins a ring, he could find himself in the top 15, for example. So I think Jokic with the 1 ring, we'll look back on this in maybe 15 years and realize how impressive it really was considering the state of the NBA. And like Wade said, Calvin Booth certainly did not help with anything. In fact, held him back from potentially winning a second or third.
So your final verdict on his ceiling would be?
I would say top 10. I think if I'm being delusional, you can get top 7 out of me, but I think top 9, 10 will suffice. Okay,
slightly higher than Wade. Kyle, what do you say?
Again, I want to give a little bit of context, a little preference, before we talk about this, in that I think it's so difficult to compare players across eras. Not only is Jokic playing in a significantly different league than even Tim Duncan did, even Akeem Olajuwon did. He's playing in a vastly different league than Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Sam Jones, to go, deep in our in history. The game is just so fundamentally different. And I think one thing that Tyler said is exactly right, whereas so much of how we view Jokic's success in this era is going to depend on what basketball looks like 10 to 15 years from now. If we see the trends that we've seen in the league continue for the next 10 to 15 years, which means more fragmentation, it becomes even more difficult to win a ring, more parity, the more it looks more like the NFL, for instance. I think that might change the way that we view success in this era. And then, ultimately, when we put these lists together, we're talking about a list of accomplishments. It's like how many All-Stars and rings, and how many times did you make the finals? How many times did you make the playoffs? What was your playoff record? It's all these things that are ultimately not usually up only to that player. They're dependent on the, team that's assembled around you, as these guys have both already discussed. So really tough to say. I got to say, I think the only thing that's absolutely off limits to Jokic, and we're talking ceiling, is top 5. I don't think I think it's really hard to break into the list of accomplishments that you see in that top 5 to, like Tyler's talking, 5 to 7. There's always a lot of debate about that 5, 6, 7. But I would be shocked if Jokic is not considered a top 10 player at the end of his career. And I'm also one of those people who has never believed this idea that Jokic is retiring early. I don't think he's clinging to the league at the end of his career. I don't think he's kicking around like Shaq on, the Suns or whatever. But I do think I don't think he's in any hurry to quit. I think he's got plenty of time left, and I expect him to accomplish a lot in that time. So maybe that's my expectation. But I think that's the only thing that's off. I think it's hard to break into that top five. But, Tyler mentioned Bill Russell. And if I had to play a game of pickup basketball right now and I had to pick one person for my team, Jokic or Bill Russell, I'm going to take Jokic. So, that's the thing is like, what are we talking about when we talk about what makes someone a top 5 or a top 10 player or whatever? There's not a lot of guys I'd pick over Joker. So
yeah, I agree. It's really hard to compare eras. And this is why I honestly would never in seriousness make an all-time list that will include all the eras together, because that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I would divide the NBA into at least 3 different eras. I would leave Bill Russell and Oscar Robertson and Will Chamberlain and the logo in one separate era, and then I would honestly let Kareem and Magic and Bird play in the different era, and then I would probably start the new era with LeBron or maybe with Tim Duncan and Kobe, and not older than that, because we are talking about guys playing vastly different sports, and the level of competition in the NBA today is literally the best the world can offer, which wasn't the case in the 50s and the 60s, because back in the day there were very, very few foreign players, if any foreign players at all. So yeah, it was a vastly different league back then. But I have to come in hot because this is a Serbian corner and this is a crazy Serbian talking here. So here's my case. I threw a normal sleeping schedule under the bus about 8.5 years ago. And the reason I did that is the fact that I want to be not only a witness of one of the greatest basketball careers in history, but I also want to document as many little kernels of greatness as I can while at it. So to cut the long story short, I not only expect Nikola Jokić to eventually become the greatest basketball player of all time, but I will consider it a personal failure if Nikola isn't regarded as the greatest basketball player ever by the smart people. I'm not expecting, Drewski and Kendrick Perkins or the Morris twins to say it, but I do expect guys like Bomani, like Bill Simmons, Zach Lowe, Charles Barkley, Jalen Rose, Tim Legler to acknowledge at least that nobody ever played better basketball than Nikola Jokić. Sure, he probably didn't win 6 MVPs like Kareem, or he didn't win 6 championships like Michael Jordan. I'm skipping LeBron for some reason on purpose here, but but yeah, it's just, for me, I just want the smartest people in the industry to say, yeah, like if I would have to pick prime Joker against prime whatever and build my team around that, I don't think I have a choice but to pick prime Joker. And that's basically what all of you have said. It's just that I'm coming in hot saying, yeah, I want somebody to say, yeah, but he was still the best player ever to play. So take that, Eric. Just traveling to Serbia 5 times a year. Is that really a sacrifice compared to my non-sleeping schedule? Okay, guys, let's take the second break, and after that, we are going to start the trivia game show. Don't go away. So I'm supposed to bring in my trusty presentation in, which I did not do so far, which was a failure on my side. So please, guys, just talk something.
Well, I was going to say, the one thing that really agrees with you is Basketball Reference, where Jokic is number 1 in win shares, number 1 in per, number 1 in box plus minus, all time.
Yes.
All 3, number 1 on all those lists. So, I don't think you're necessarily alone in that take, but I just find it hard to believe we're going to find an era where the majority of the basketball intelligentsia believes that Jokic is better than Michael Jordan. I just don't see that happening. But I like your optimism.
Every era is different, and Michael Jordan was the most efficient player of his time. When you see the raw numbers, that's not very impressive nowadays. He was like at 54% effective field goal percentage, something like that. It was a completely different era. This is why I liked the graph we saw from NBA universities showing every player in NBA history, not NBA history, but from like 96, when all the data has been tracked, every possession, and everybody who shot more than whatever number of shots from the paint non-restricted area, and Joker's efficiency there is just ludicrous and just shows why he is so dominant for so long. Okay, I took enough time.
We vamped for you well enough. All right.
We made it so the presentation is now ready. And let me turn off the comments, because the comments might help too much in these games. The way this show works, we're gonna start with a tiebreaker game, because I like to keep my contestants loose and to feel well in the game. And tiebreaker game doesn't count for anything unless there's a tie at the very end of the show. So don't worry if you don't win the tiebreaker game. It doesn't count unless it does. So the tiebreaker game for today, and we're going to do the usual thing of playing the first contestant will be determined by alphabetical order by first name. So in this case, Kyle will have the first crack at the tiebreaker game. Tyler will be second. Wade will be third, but Wade was always the third by the alphabetical order, and he was still the champion of the first season.
Didn't stop me before.
This show. So yeah, I'm feeling confident on your behalf. So
Wade's going to start saying we should go by handle, because then he'd get I instead of W, and then he'd get go first.
We'll see what happens in the fourth season of the show. So Kyle, here's the question from the tiebreaker game this time around. The question is, I went to Basketball Reference, and because of our God and Savior Nikola Jokić, and also because of Jonas Valanciunas, I typed in two letters J-O, and the 10 players auto-populated under this search. And these players, I think, are selected by the highest win shares of their careers in the NBA and ABA. So you're going to try to guess which guy is one of the top 10 on the list. If you guess really high, you will get 10 points. If you get the last one on the list, you will get 1 point for that. Everybody will have 3 shots at this. So Kyle, what is your first guess? So J-O might be the start of the first name or the last name of the player. Just a heads up here in case anybody is wondering. So Kyle, what is your first guess?
You said this is win shares, right?
Yes. So that means you want to have guys with long careers which were successful. I say this because Nikola Jokić for sure has more win shares than Robert Parrish, who played for 20 years, even though he was a really good player as well.
Right. Well, I am going to go with our Lord and Savior, Nikola Jokić.
Nikola Jokić is a really good guess because he is on the list, although he is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th on the list, which means you're getting 5 points for your guess of Nikola Jokić. So there are five guys in front of him. Tyler, what is your first guess?
I'm just going to go for ultimate safety here. Michael Jordan has to be
Michael Jordan is number 1.
Oh, man.
Michael Jordan is number 1. 10 points for Tyler. Wade, what will be your first guess?
I'm going to go with Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson, which is the worst fumbled porn name of all time. Magic Johnson is number 4 on the list, so that means you get 7 points here, and we are back with Kyle.
How about John Havlicek?
John Havlicek is number 2, 9 points. Great guess by Kyle. John Havlicek played for 15 years from 63 to 78. Tyler.
All right, thank you, Kyle, because I was stuck between 2 players, between Havlicek, and I'm going to go with John Stockton.
Oh,
John Stockton is number 3. Great guess. Number 3, 8 points. For Tyler. Wade.
Dang, that was my next one.
You got all of the top 4.
I'm going to go with Joe Johnson.
Excellent guess. Number 5 on the list. 6 points for you. You guys are killing this game. You guessed all of the top 6 guys on the list. We are back with Kyle.
I'm feeling pretty stuck now, I got to be honest with you. I'm going to go, what about our dear departed Nugget, DeAndre Jordan?
DeAndre Jordan is not on the list. Kyle ends the game with 14 points. Tyler, you have 18, so you're safe from Kyle.
All right. I don't. This is win shares, you said?
Yes, I believe so.
All right. I don't think there's going to really be any current or like any sort of recent player. So I'm trying to think like back in the day, like 90s, 80s. Who do I want to go with? Let's go Dennis Johnson.
Dennis Johnson is number 8 on the list. That is 3 points for you. So you now have 21. Wade has 13. So you are the winner of the tiebreaker game because Wade cannot catch you, but Wade will still get the chance to add some more points to his tally.
I don't even know who else we can go with. Well, since this game's over, I'm gonna go with a former Nugget, DeMar Johnson.
DeMar Johnson is not on the list. So here is the entire list. I really enjoyed this game. You've done really well. So you guessed Michael Jordan, John Havlicek, John Stockton, Magic Johnson, Joe Johnson, Nikola Jokic, and now the famous Nikola Jokic hater, Eddie Johnson, at number 7.
Oh, man.
Dennis Johnson. You got
Joe Dumars.
Joe Dumars.
Joe Dumars is the one that I feel the worst about not coming in.
And I have no
Joe
idea
Dumars.
who Johnny Green is. So Johnny Green is at number 10. So yes, this is the entire list. By the way, when you were mentioning Sam Jones, I really liked the mention of Sam Jones before, because whenever I hear that name, I think of the football player Sam Jones who played Flash Gordon in the movie Flash Gordon. That is such a great trash movie from the early 80s. Like they made it, Flash Gordon play football or tackle the Emperor Ming's soldiers in that game. But I digress. Okay, let's go straight to the game number 1 now, with Tyler in the driver's seat, as Paul George would say, against the Nuggets in 2020. So Tyler will get the first crack in game number 1, and game number 1 has a short, snappy name. Which Nuggets players had the most games with a plus-minus of -10 or worse in the 2024-2025 regular season?
All right, so wait, just to confirm, this is someone who's been, it's lower than -10, right?
Yes, so
Okay.
worse than -10. Which players? We have 9 guys on this list. So if you guess one of the top 9 on the list, you will get points for that.
Oh,
So
okay.
just think about it. In order to be -10, you need to be on the court for more than 60 seconds, unless you are certain someone who might have done it in 60 seconds as well. So I'm not going to say anything more.
Yeah. All right, I'm immediately thinking of the non-Jokic minutes because that's the easiest way to get there. But who's the worst of them all? That's what I'm trying to think about.
So from the last season only, yes.
Yeah, from last season. I'm just trying to think if like this is a player that barely played, or if this is someone that's like been a mainstay in the lineup. I think I'm going to start off with Dario Saric because he was just so bad. He has to be on here.
Yes, Dario Saric was bad. I'm not going to lie. But I guess he didn't play in enough games because he is not on the top 9 list here.
Okay.
0 points for Tyler on the first try. Wade, you have the second pick here.
I'm going to go with Julian Strother.
Julian Strother is strong, tied for number 2 on the list. That is 8 points for you, Wade. 19 such games with minus 10 or worse, plus minus last season. Kyle.
Yeah, it's got to be someone who played a lot. Saric didn't get to, negative 10.
I think he got something like 8 games at the
games.
Beginning of the season, and then they just shut him down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess someone who just played a lot of bench minutes. I'm gonna guess Peyton Watson.
Peyton Watson is number 4 on the list. So that will be 6 points for you, Kyle. He had 17 such games, so just 2 fewer than Julian Strother. We are back with Tyler.
All right. Non-Jokic minutes. I feel like I got to go for one of the starters here. I'll go Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. is tied at 2 with 19 games as well. 8 points for you. So Michael Porter and Julian Strother both had 19 points. We still need to figure out who is the number 1 on this list. Wade.
I'm going to go with Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray, interestingly enough, is number 6 on this list. Though only 11 such games for Jamal Murray last season. So that would be 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 points for Wade and Jamal Murray. Kyle.
Kind of between 2 guys. I'm gonna try Russ. I'm gonna try Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook had 21 such games. That's number 1, 9 points for Kyle. Great guess. He had the most games with minus 10 or worse, plus minus last season. Tyler, we are back with you. So you can still guess number 5, number 7, number 8, and number 9.
Bunch of players I'm deciding between. I don't know which one to go for because there could be there's 3 to 4 really good guesses, but it's just which one's the highest because we're trying to get some points on the board because I fluffed the first one. So I will go Christian Brown.
Christian Brown is the best available answer. Number 5 on the list at 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 points. For you, Tyler, you are ending the game with 13 points. Wade has 12, so he needs to guess somebody on the list to overtake you.
Okay. Oh man, I'm trying to think who's left. Man.
So just to help you, we already guessed Russell Westbrook, Michael Porter, Julian Strother, Peyton Watson, Christian Brown, and Jamal Murray. Now the bottom 3 are left.
All right. I'm gonna go with. Wait, DeAndre Jordan hasn't been picked yet, right?
He hasn't.
All right, I'm going to go with DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan is not on the list.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That is a miss.
I thought
So,
he
Kyle, you have 15 points, which means you already won this game, but you can further extend your lead in this game.
Well, Wade, I think I would have guessed DeAndre Jordan too. So
Thanks.
I'm going to go with I feel like everyone wants to make Zeke out to be he's kind of like the punching bag of this team, and maybe it is Zeke, but I'm actually going to go with someone else. I'm going to go with Hunter Tyson.
Hunter Tyson is a very cute and wrong answer because Zeke Nagy was actually the next one on the list. He had 10 such games, and he's probably the one who did it in the least minutes of them all.
Yeah,
he
probably.
had the superpower of going minus 10 in 2 or 3 minutes. So, yeah. This is why he only got 10 such occasions, because he didn't play in all of the games. Aaron Gordon and Nikola Jokić, interestingly enough, both had 6 such games last season. So this is the entire list. Congrats to Kyle for winning game number 1 and the first official point of this game. Of this show. There are 2 more games right after the break, so don't go anywhere. Okay, we are back. So now we are starting with Kyle. So the last game was about last season. Now we are going to go and talk about numbers from the entire Jokic era. This is the way I made, the concept of all of the shows for this first round at least. So game number 1 is season behind us. Game number 2 is the Jokic era, which might be harder or easier for some people. So Kyle is number 1. Now Wade will be number 2 and Tyler will be number 3 in this game. Since we have 4 guesses each, this game will be a snake draft, and the question is as follows. Which players had the highest field goal percentage in the playoffs for the Nuggets in the Jokic era? So basically since 2019, because that was the first time the Nuggets appeared in the playoffs in Jokic era. 10 games minimum. So I'm not counting some guy who randomly entered 2 games in one of the series. So we are talking guys who played real, actual NBA playoff games. We have 12 guys on the list. Kyle, what would be your guess? Who had the highest field goal percentage of all the guys?
Wow, that's a tough one. Trying to think about someone who took enough shots, played in enough games, and then also just made it a really high rate. I think that's really tricky. I'm going to go with...
Before you say anything, I don't care about the number of shots. I just need the 10 games minimum. That's the only qualifier. So it might have been a guy who only shot once in 10 games.
In 10 games,
but he still played in 10 games. So
he was 10 for 10. One making. No.
I'm going to tell you. No, I'm not going to tell you anything more. So
don't give us any hints. We'll be all right. Yeah. I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess AG.
Aaron Gordon is a great guess. He's number 4 on the list, which means you are getting 12, 11, 10, 9 points for the first guess. AG. Wade.
I'm gonna go with the guy that literally did reverse dunks his entire Nuggets tenure. I'm gonna go with Mason Plumlee.
Mason Plumlee is number 5 on the list, so 8 points for you, Wade. I forgot to mention Aaron Gordon had a field goal percentage of 50.1%, and Mason Plumlee flat 50%. Okay, Tyler, what will be your first guess?
Now you said in the Jokic era. Jokic technically counts in that, right?
He does, of course. And it's since 2019. This is the first time in Jokic era they played a playoff game.
So I'll go with the main man himself, Nikola Jokic.
Nikola Jokic is, interestingly enough, a very good guess. He's number 2 on the list. 11 points for you, Tyler. And you get another shot now because this is a snake draft. Yes, Nikola Jokic had a field goal percentage of 52.5% so far in 94 games. By far the most field goals attempted of all the players on this list. So, Tyler, your second guess.
Trying to think of someone. So we first 2 guesses were who again? Just a reminder, it was
Aaron Gordon and Mason Plumlee.
Okay. Let's go with. I'll go with Paul Millsap.
Paul Millsap is on the list. He's not very high on the list. He is number 12 on the list. That is 1 point for you. 43.8% field goal percentage in the playoffs for the Nuggets. Wade, your second pick.
All right. I'm not Paul Millsap, for the record, for those out there. He says I look like him.
In case this was Tyler's association here. Okay.
Oh man, so I'm really trying to think who number one could be in this Jokic era. I'm going to go with Christian Brown.
Christian Brown is number 6 on the list. That will be 10, 8, 7 points for you, Wade. You are now in the lead with 15 points. Kyle, 2 picks for you now.
Well, I'm going to use one of them on Jamal Murray. I'm just dying to know where he's at on the list.
Yes, Jamal Murray is number 7 on the list. So Christian Brown was 6 with 46.2, and Jamal Murray is 7th with 45.7. That will be 6 points for you, Kyle, and you have another guess. You are now tied with Wade with 15 points.
And we have 1 and 3 that we haven't guessed yet, right?
We haven't guessed 1, 3, 8,
and then below
9,
that.
10,
3 are the ones
and
we're
11.
1 and
Yes.
3 are the ones we want.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to guess DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan didn't play in 10 games. He played in 13 games and hit 6 of 8, 75% for DeAndre Jordan, number 1 on this list.
Number 1.
12 points for Kyle here. Yes.
That's so silly.
6
That's
of 8 in
Yeah, 'cause
13
he's-
games. This is what I meant.
Yeah.
There's no shot qualifier.
I was in a
But I was
50-50.
trying to think he had to have. Did he even have 10 shots? And no, he didn't. But because of the way that that's worded, he still
Yes.
qualifies. So that's
Yes.
funny.
Okay, wait. Now you have a tall mountain to climb.
Yeah, it might be over for me. I'm trying to. Who else could we go for? I'm going to go with Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. is on the list, and he is number 11. So 2 points for you.
Wow.
Michael Porter shot 44.6% for his playoff career with the Denver Nuggets.
I'll take it.
17 points for you, and Kyle has 27. Tyler, you have 12. What will be your 2 next guesses?
Oh, I was stuck between 2 players, so I might as well just guess both of them. Excellent. So I feel like Zeke Naji's got to be on there, right? So like he's played more than 10 games. He's a big guy, so he's probably made at least 45% of his shots.
I would wager, I don't have it in front of me. I would wager there's no way he played in 10 playoff games, though. Zeke Naji did not get a lot of love from Micah Malone in the last 4 seasons. Oh, my goodness. Is it 4 or 5? Did he play the first season of his new contract? He did, right?
I'm pretty sure, but he probably played
Yeah, so 5 years with the Nuggets, all of them in the playoffs. But no, Zeke Naji is not on this list. So you have another guess now.
All right. What to do? Stuck between 2 players again. I'm second guessing myself. Am I the last one, or do these guys still have to go?
This is the last guess of yours, and then Wade and Kyle will get another one.
Okay, so I'll go with. I'm gonna go Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown is number 3 on the list. Great
Wow.
guess. 10
Yes.
points for you. Bruce Brown shot 51.1% in his playoff career in the Nuggets, which is only 1 season, but that was those glorious 20 games, 16-4 in 2023. Wade, you can still get somewhere. We have number 8, number 9, number 10 available.
I'm going to go with Monte Morris.
Monte Morris is on the list. He is number 9, so that means 4 points. For you, you are ending the game with 21 points. Tyler has also 21 points. 22 points. So Kyle will win, but Kyle has a chance to add some more to the tally.
Well, I think the name I'm most curious to know if he's on this list is Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, Jeremy Grant played only one season for the Nuggets, and he
played in 10 games.
He did, but he did not make the lists. But regardless of that, Kyle wins game number 2. So here is the entire list. We've missed Vlatko Čančar, legend, and Torrey Craig.
I would never have guessed Torrey Craig either.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah,
Torrey Craig shot better than Michael Porter Jr.
Craig is on this list. Yeah, I can't believe that.
Yeah, I guess some of the series Michael Porter played for the Nuggets really dragged down his.
He's also on higher volume, so
averages.
Yeah.
And also,
for sure.
Yeah, he's been shooting a lot of 3-pointers, which will drag your field goal percentage down.
Yeah,
and not
the shoulder injury. That shoulder injury in the playoffs kind of.
Okay, so Kyle wins game number 1 and game number 2, which means he will be the champion of today's game. But let's play the honorary third game, everybody's favorite game, and especially Wade's favorite game. I see him already smiling here. The game is called "Can I Have Your Full Name, Sir / Madam?" So what this game is, it is a name mashup game in which I create a long name by joining 2 people's names together and mash them up in the middle. That sounds confusing, so here is an example. If I tell you the first person is a former Nugget drafted in 2014 and the second person is the most handsome DNVR Nugget outside of this show, your answer should be Gary Harrison Wind. I hope this is clear enough. Kyle will get the first combination here. So Kyle, here is the first clue for both of the person. The first person was born in 1992 in a city called Utena or Utena. Not sure about that. The second person is not a person, but a perennial flowering plant.
Oh, I've got no idea. I don't know if anyone's ever got it on the first clue of one of these before and afters that you took up, man. I've got no idea.
It is not designed. I think it happened once, but it was a really weird situation where somebody was reading my mind and just got it from the first try. Okay, Wade, do you have any idea?
I'm second in this one.
Yes,
okay.
You are second.
Yeah, I'm going to pass for now. See what the next hint is.
Okay, Tyler?
Struggle with the perennial flowering plant.
We can move to the second clue.
Yeah, let's do that. I think that's probably everybody.
Okay, Kyle. Now it's going to be way easier. The first person has played in the NBA for 13 seasons, 6.5 of those for the Raptors. So basically half of it. The second person is not a person, but a plant known for its edible young shoots, which are popular spring vegetable.
You know, I still don't have a guess. This is you said significantly easier, but it's not feeling any easier.
Yeah, I was lying.
I gotta pass this one.
I was lying. Yes. Wade?
I think I know who the person is, but yeah, I'm just getting into like gardening and plants and stuff. But and I mean, you said perennial, then you said it's a popular spring vegetable. So I'm just like, is it that obvious? But I can't think of anything right now, so I'm going to pass.
Okay, Tyler.
Does the person's name is the full name or can it be part of the name?
So the end of first person's last name connects with the first name of the second person, or in this case, just the name.
Oh, I think I got it then.
Okay.
Is it Jonas Valanciunas asparagus?
That is correct.
Oh,
amazing guess. Amazing guess. Tyler.
Asparagus. That's what it is.
2 points for you.
Let's go.
In this game. This is fantastic. I wasn't optimistic that anyone's gonna get this because it's pretty insane. So Tyler, 2 points for you in this game. And now we are going to Wade's combination. Wade, I hope you are ready.
No.
The first person was born in 1996 in Boston, Massachusetts. The second person is not a person. It is a food product with a distinctive brown color due to the presence of molasses. I hope this is how you read this word. This is from the Wikipedia, so I don't know. So the first person born in 1996 in Boston, Massachusetts, and the second person is actually a food product with a distinctive brown color due to the presence of molasses.
I'm going to pass right now, but I think I might have something, but I'm going to pass. For the record, I haven't, in all the years I've played this game, I haven't gotten a single one of these right.
You are not alone in that, by the way. You are absolutely not alone in that. I always apologize, but I also enjoy this game very much. Because Tyler, do you have a guess?
I actually know what this is.
Oh, God. Let's go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so thankfully this man played for my Nets, and I have a cousin who's a pastry chef. So this is Bruce Brown Sugar.
That is correct. Amazing.
Oh, wow.
3 points for Tyler here.
Yeah, I was way off.
That was amazing. 3 points.
Just turned
Tyler
29.
here.
Just turned 29, right? Yesterday.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
So our guy Bruce Brown, our combined guy Bruce Brown is the lead singer in this combination. Okay. Now we go to Tyler for the third combination. That was amazing work. Okay, so okay, let's see. The first person is a YouTuber. The second person was born in 1996 in Moon Township, Pennsylvania.
Moon Township, Pennsylvania. I know who the person is.
Okay.
Wow.
Is it Swiper Cam Johnson?
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. What kind of monster have I brought into this show?
Just said it had never happened, and he did it twice in a row.
So here's the thing. So Kyle is the winner of today's show. But after this performance by Tyler, I'm going to have to give you a how do you call it? A lucky loser spot in the finals, because this is something that never happened ever in this show. Spot. Oh my God. Swiper Cameron Johnson is the correct answer. Amazing work, Tyler. Congrats. And Kyle, before we go, do you want to plug anything or leave a message of any sort about, universe or movies or our Lord and Savior, Nikola Jokic, whatever you want?
I want to plug the Serbian corner, man. This is such a good hang. Thanks again for having me on, and great to be on with these guys. This was a tough crew. So this feels like an unfair first round to have to go against Wade, a champ, and Tyler's.
It is very true.
I think his Nets knowledge really came through there at the end, man. This was
brutal. Oh, it saved me 100%.
This was
what's the funniest thing? People are going to think this was fixed. I made all of the questions like 6 weeks ago and had no idea who's going to be in the show, because I just upload the and always get surprised by what the next question is going to be. Wade, do you want to leave a message after the tone?
I just want to also plug this show. It's a great thing to have the fans be involved and be able to share their thoughts on the team. Can never thank you enough for that. My hot take is the Nuggets are going to win 65 games this year, and they might post the highest offensive rating in NBA history. So those are my hot takes.
Schedule. You were Wade. You're undaunted by the schedule, huh?
Well,
the bad schedule actually helps the Nuggets for some strange reason. So
probably.
Yeah, we love the difficult situations. By the way, somebody's gonna break the all-time offensive rating record because it happens every year.
Every year, yeah.
This is the way that the league is developing right now. Tyler, I'm sure you want to plug your show.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. We actually have a new episode dropping in an hour from now. So
Excellent.
So go check that out. We're putting all the centers into a tier list. So Jokic should
Tell us a bit about the show for people that haven't watched it before.
Yeah, so basically we're just NBA podcast kind of. We're more organized in short form content. We do like drafts and trivia stuff. That's why my basketball reference is so ingrained in my mind because I'm on there like 4 days a week, just like prepping things. And, during our episodes, we like to focus content around all 30 teams, kind of get everyone involved because I feel like all the mainstream media just talks about the Knicks and the Lakers. And, we're trying to be different and we have our own little twist on it. And we got a bunch of off-season content. So it's a lot of fun. And we got a bunch new projects coming for the season.
Yes, so Floor Spacer podcast, go check it out. I watched the shows where you rank the top point guards, the top shooting guards, the top small forwards. Really, really fun content. I really enjoyed it, and it is something we need in these off-season months to get a fix of the NBA in a really nice and I want to say flowing manner. It's really, really fun podcast to attend. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for coming to spend an hour and something plus with me today. Kyle, I'm gonna see you again in about, I want to say 5-6 weeks when the second round enters. And Tyler, I am gonna find a way to insert you there as well because I just need to get something like this again at some point for my personal pleasure. Okay, so that is all I've prepared for you, my dear listener, and please take the word prepared very loosely. Be well, be safe, be kind to everybody. Call your mom, and until next week, new player of Mersin in Turkey, NBA champion, Jack White.